Hello, 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 fam. It is your girl Cher. It is Friday. We are back. We are back. It is so good to be on with y'all today. Y'all, two words for you: tech issues, okay? Oh my goodness, that has been today's theme, apparently. But finally, we're together again. I am so glad to have y'all with me. And I am very excited about my guest today. Y'all, I mean, when I tell you I am nerding out, oh yes, absolutely nerding out right now. Let me just bring up one thing. I want to make sure that everything is going like I planned it. Let's see. On. There's a number of things that here we go. Here we go. Okay, that's working. All right. Anybody that's in the chat right now that's been waiting, thank you so much for your energy and your patience. And just let me know that I'm coming in okay. And let us see here. Okay. Okay. Very, very good. Whoo, y'all, I'm telling you. Just making sure that everything is up and running is, I'm a one-woman show. What can I say? But without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest because I am so excited that he's here. We are going to be speaking with Prince, aka Dimples and Dice. Prince, aka Dimples and Dice, is a Black TTRPG player and GM dedicated to running inclusive games where BIPOC players can see themselves represented in actual play games. He is the storyteller for Philly by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition TTRPG, with an all BIPOC cast on Rolling D's 20s, and appears on many other actual plays, including Vancouver by Night and Faithforge Academy. It is my absolute pleasure and privilege to introduce to you Prince. Yes, and there he is. There he is. How are you? How are you?
We made it to Friday, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yes, indeed we did. Indeed we did. And I'll tell you what. When it comes to being able to just have a chat, with fellow nerds and be able to just geek out for a bit, hell, I'll take that any day. Any day I can squeeze it in, I'm happy to do it. So here's the thing, y'all. If y'all aren't currently following Prince, y'all need to definitely do so. There are going to be, you'll see a couple of prompts in the chat momentarily with all his socials, as well as where to follow him on Twitch. Let me just say that I became a fan of you when I started watching the Wayward series that you have going. Okay.
Yeah, Wayward Revelry? Yeah.
Wayward Revelry has easily become one of my latest favorite shows to watch. The chemistry that y'all have on this show. Okay. Because it's so amazing when you get that cast of people that could come together and truly be entertaining just by just talking back and forth. It's amazing.
I'm glad because casting for that game was
it really?
Yeah, so I put out a casting call for that one, and it was over the Christmas time, so I let it go a little bit long. But I got 241 applicants.
Ooh,
And
wow.
many of which I played with before, I shared tables with, friends with, and it was just so many, and it was so overwhelming to like get that many people and then try to narrow it down to just like, here's your little handful of people out of that. Oh man, it was rough. And I was just like, one of the things that really came to mind when I did it was like, are these people going to be good together? Like in this particular setting, what I'm doing, I want a crew that really fits that whole mood for everything. Like I was even telling my wife, who's on the show with me, I was like, this crew, I love them to death, but there might be another game that I would absolutely not put y'all together
Oh my
because
God.
it wouldn't fit the same vibe. And I was like, it's not a bad, I'm not, that's not a knock against y'all. It's just I knew here this thing, this would work.
Yo, okay, because I mean, Chaos Incorporated, I think if the group didn't have any other name, I think Chaos Incorporated could be a potentially apropos name.
I agree.
You know, I mean, not that us in the those of us in the chat aren't much better. You know, we have our own form of chaos in the chat, I find. So, but you know, to be truthful about it, I mean, we just feed off of the chaos that's going on screen. Y'all are amazing, and I approve this chaos. I do. I approve this chaos wholeheartedly. And so what, but that's a real eye opener for me, which leads me into what I wanted to talk to you about today about, you know, when it comes to setting up your own stream. You know, I happen to have my own stream that I'm trying to put the pieces together behind the scenes for now, to be able to stream later on this year. And so, you know, it's really great when you have that chemistry, but that's great that you brought that up, because I've always wondered, like, okay, were they already friends before? Like how, and just knowing that you had that many people apply, like, first of all, kudos to you, because that means that as a DM, I mean, you come highly, you know, there's a high demand for you, apparently, you know, so
it felt good and bad at the same time, because I had to tell so many people that I knew, no, you can't be in this game with me. Like that was rough, because I was like, I really like, I want to play games with some, like many of them I haven't shared a table with, and many of them I had not. Like there's tons of people there, and I'm like, I would love to play a game with you. Boy. Just right. I can't on this one.
It's like, maybe not on this one, on the next one. But you know, it's because it speaks to the fact that you're conscientious, though, as a DM. I find that the most successful streams are the ones that take that into account. You know, that take into account that if you have more than one person that tends to be chaotic, that's a very tricky balance that you have to strike, right? And you know, and you want to make it easier on yourself as a DM too, right? Like, you know, I feel like when you become a DM, it's almost like an act of service a little bit. Would you agree with that? Like,
yeah, because you do a lot of unsung hero work when you're running a game of some sort. It is a lot of stuff that people don't see, or they see, but they only see like what you put in front of them and none of the other work behind it. Like this map that you painstakingly made and then did all of the dynamic lighting on, and then placed your enemies in specific spots, and then created the particular stat blocks for these ones because your party has gotten really powerful. Like all of that, when it actually ends up on screen, is maybe a half hour sometimes.
Oh
but you've
boy.
spent, maybe days
Right.
racking your head over it. Uh,
Right.
and so that's like part of the whole thing. But I enjoy it.
Right.
It is a great creative outlet. Like,
I mean, a labor of love, certainly, because you not only do you get to come up with this world that has sprung from your own mind, that allows you to express yourself creatively.
mhm.
But also now you're taking into account the time and effort that your players, for example, have put into their characters, that all of like the backstories and such. That's why I love it when I can really tell when someone has really put in the time and effort in their backstory and everything.
Oh yeah.
They say often, "Oh, well, you probably don't wanna hand your DM, like, a 20-page backstory," but I will say personally, I'll hand you at least a two-pager. It'll be about 2
Oh yeah, for
always.
sure.
It's never less than 2 pages.
I I don't. So as a GM, I don't really. As long as you give me something to work with, I'm fine with it. But if you give me a longer, really fleshed out background, I'll tell you straight up. Like, I may not be able to get to every single part of this to explore it for you in a game, but I will try to bring parts of this to life within the game and give you opportunities to. And one of the things I've started doing recently, which may or may not be controversial depending on who you ask, I have all of my characters, like all of my players, share their backstories with each other.
Ooh,
Like, even if there's secrets and
okay.
stuff, because one of the things that happens, especially when you're doing a streamed game, is that like another player might miss the prompt and be like, I would absolutely never do that with my character because this thing that you're doing. And instead of having that wall, they may find out a better way to play that because they know it's part of the other character's backstory.
Got you,
And sure,
got
it's you could have people
yep.
who meta it, but like I I feel confident about the people I play with that won't happen to like any like extreme extent because everybody's gonna meta
Right.
a little bit. Like, it's
Like,
going to happen.
you don't necessarily want a whole, like, fusion technique starting to happen, like on Dragon.
Yeah.
Like, okay, y'all decided that you're gonna act together as one big overpowered PC. Like, no, let's not do that. But I hear what you're saying, because that and to me, that makes me as a player become more invested,
Hmm.
especially when you have somebody that'll come along and say, okay, I've got this me and this other character, we grew up together, so they've seen me in a certain light, but for all those years maybe they weren't seeing this part of my
Right.
persona, that is now it's come to such a heady point that it's now written into this narrative that we're telling now, and like just interdynamics. That's why I've always been a fan of just interdynamics, just in real life anyway.
Sure.
So
I
then you
am an
oh my
extrovert.
gosh.
I'm very, very extroverted. So I am like, hey, how do you work? What makes you tick? Like, I want to understand people. And I'm always looking
Hmm.
for opportunities to do so. And so I that comes out in my games. Like, my vampire players tell me all the time. They're like, you know exactly the kind of character that will piss us off. Like, you
Oh
know just
yeah.
the NPC that we'll love or will absolutely hate. Like, and I do. It's true. I listen to them. I read their backstories. And then I'm like, okay, so when it's time to push that button, I got you.
You didn't think I was sitting here listening to you, did you?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
well, just so you know, button. Yeah.
Always
Mhm.
listening.
But that's so important. Oh, wow. when I think of the times that I've seen the most successful streams, and just been in the most successful games,
Mhm.
is when the DM remembers something about my character that I totally forgot. It's like, oh snap! You remember that out of my okay. Hmm. Here's where we're at now. Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's one of my favorite parts is when
Okay.
I brought something back from way back, and then right at a moment you're not even thinking about it, like, and then it's like boom, it's part of the story now, and you're like, oh my god.
Yup. It's like, but wait a minute, but yeah, but how you gonna spring that on me though? Well, you should be paying attention to your character more, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. It's out of your backstory. You sent me your backstory. So here it is. But you know, that's a caveat to all of my watchers and my listeners. If you don't wish your DM to use it against you, perhaps it's not a good idea to include in your backstory. Just saying.
And your backstory and your actions. I on Vampire, I literally brought up something that happened 3 seasons ago into the game so that
Wow.
like that they didn't even think of. They're like, wait a second, is this thing waking up because I missed giving it one person because I ate them? And I was like, dun dun dun, you put it together. If this
Oh.
giant vampire woke up because you were one short of the whole sandwich.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So, um, note to self, if and when Prince becomes my GM, yep, include this and this in
I'm
backstory.
always listening.
Don't never put that, and that he's listening. Check. Okay. So what I and speaking of which, I'm going to transfer us over. There is a showcase video that I have, and if I can get it to cooperate, let's see if I can get it to cooperate. That would be ever so lovely. And I think we shall have it. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to I'm just bringing up your Twitch pages here. Speaking of which, rolling D's 20s. First of all, okay, as a person who loves puns, can I just say how much I love the name of the channel, and please keep more of that coming. Yes.
Thank you.
I was like,
It took us forever to come up with a name, and when we landed on that one, I was like, we were like, here was the thing. We were like, the only thing that we had on the channel at the time was Vampire, and it was like an all D10 game. And I was like,
oh,
well,
gotcha.
I don't know if this makes perfect sense, but we're going with it. Like,
It's like, oh,
we're
it's
rolling with
happening.
this. It sounds too good.
It's happening, people. It's happening. I mean, and the thing I love in it, like in Philly by Night, I feel like there's always that tension, that underlying tension. That's the way that most Vampire the Masquerade streams are. Don't get me wrong, or games
Hmm.
are. But like there's this I don't I feel I get the feeling like this is a stream that is a rollover from either a previous separate stream or just a previous chapter of this story. Am I correct about that? Because I
Yeah.
feel like the first
So
episode I kind of missed. I think there was like a previous story just before that. Is that
yeah,
right?
unfortunately, when we first started streaming over there, I didn't know all. We didn't know all the like the rules for affiliate versus non-affiliates. So we lost a lot of our early games because we didn't export them immediately
Ah,
over to
okay.
YouTube. So basically, the first 2 seasons of Philly by Night are gone. So
Ah,
part of the
okay.
reason why I did, I basically did a big old retcon in the game. So I sent all the players off to the future in a Zuckerberg mage controlled world, uh, which was
Yep.
absolutely absurd, but it was great. It was some of the most fun I ever had storytelling because I just got to make stuff up with a clean slate, no lore around vampires surrounding it. I was able to do whatever I wanted with it. Uh, and I just gave the players a season of playing around in the future and then trying to make their way back. And then when they came back, now they're in a world that is set in like some of the vampire lore, but a lot of it is just being written by me. I'm actually working on trying to write a whole Philly by Night setting,
Ooh, interesting.
so that other
Okay.
people could use it as well. But that was my idea behind that, was just to retcon the world,
Got
because I was
you.
like, we
Hashtag
lost so
retcon the
much.
world. I love that. I love that. I love that so much. I mean, that's the power of these games in the first place, is that, you you even scientifically, I believe I read somewhere where the experiences that you have around the table, or the virtual tabletop as it
Hmm.
were, they still get coded into your brain in the same area of the brain that contains memories. So, when you go into a fantasy setting or a vampire setting or a Cthulhu setting, there's these, first of all, they're all, at all times, they are experiences that you should be voluntarily signing up for, first off.
Absolutely,
So
yes,
you came to get scared out of, the bejesus out of. Well, yeah, that's, you signed on the dotted line for that. But there's these experiences that you create in real time, that, using your imagination, they get encoded, into your subconscious mind, as well as almost as if it's an actual memory. That's why I feel like it's so important to have that common through line, that everyone has agreed to sign up for this, to help tell that story. Collaborative storytelling as a whole is one of the best things I feel like that has ever come into my life,
for
and getting
sure.
involved in all of these games.
And I'll add that when I started, it was right during the beginning of the pandemic, like right when stuff was going on, and and I was like, I don't have a healthy outlet for any of this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to propose something for the people who want to play Vampire with me. I was like, I'm saying right now, this is going to be heavy and it's not for everybody, but we're basically putting the vampire game in the pandemic. Vampires have moved because they can't get prey as easily in many big city because everyone's in their house. So Midwestern vampires came to Philadelphia because it was easier to get place to place because everything is a row home. Everyone's house is right next to each other. Uh, yeah. So
Wow.
it was dark, and I was like, I went through Lines and Veils. We went over it multiple times this season to make sure everybody was cool, what was going on. If there was in like after post game check-ins, like during the game check-ins, because I was like, okay, here's a heavy thing that's about to come up. Are we good for this? Because it's important. And like vampires in the game were basically being taken by humans to be experimented on and used for a vaccine. That was the whole premise of the first season. uh, and it was heavy, but people actually really liked that because it was like a step away from real life where you could explore like how I feel about this, and it was like almost like a vengeance tour on everything that was happening, like
For
dealing with people
sure.
who didn't care or were still going out and not giving a damn about how other people felt. And I think that was a interesting way to explore that,
Yeah, almost in
for both
effigy.
me as a storyteller
Uh,
and the players.
right. Almost in effigy against those negative aspects,
Mm-hmm.
as it were. And I find it fascinating that, I'm amused because I myself, I don't do horror much. I'll be straight up with you on that. I don't do horror much, and it's intentional because I find that I have a very healthy, fully fledged imagination.
Sure.
I do
Yeah.
not need nightmares every night. Like, I tend to absorb media like a sponge, and
Same.
I draw, I love any creative expression, where I can vibe with the authors and the creators, and I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. Oh, I see what social inequity that you're pointing out in that episode or in that play or in that poem, or you know what I mean. I feel you on the social injustice aspect that you're trying to shine a spotlight on, stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then swing all the way to the other side of my brain that is a total sci-fi and fantasy nerd, and like I've been exposed to so many different, you know, fantasy realms, futuristic and otherwise. And like if I coupled that with horror, ooh, no.
So I thought when I started running this game that it was going to be way more horror themed. It's not. I mean, it has horror moments, but mostly my crew is just hilarious, and they often make things that not shouldn't necessarily be funny into funny things.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Okay. I
because that's all my
because
games. That happens
let
in all my
me
games.
I have to bring up this clip that y'all have from Wayward Revelry. Okay. Your boy Zero over there.
Oh
Okay,
my
let's talk
god,
about this for a
Zero.
second. The recaps. The recaps. Okay. Where is that clip? Let me go to that clip right now. It's at the end. Yeah, it's this one. I think it's this one.
He volunteers for this too. He's like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna do a
gosh.
recap. He's
Let
like,
me see if we can
what kind
hear
of
it.
theme do you want me in to do it? And I'm just like, go out with it. Do what you will. I trust you.
Yup. Hold on. Let's
Hey,
see.
Dimples.
Yes.
Did we recognize any like words from the singing?
I'm going to sing you a song.
Yes. Wait.
Hey,
I got a thing for this that I need
I just want you to know that
you're.
I just want you to know that you're an all-star.
Yeah.
That's Sheer's fault. There's that one. No, it's a different clip though. It was. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it again. I bet you it's this one. Hold on.
Anyway, y'all are here. The bridge seems, or this causeway seems relatively secure as far as you can tell. But as you look out and coming through the frog and the fog,
Go on. What about the frog?
We need a frog counter in chat, please. Every time Dimple
Yes,
says
please.
frog, we need to add one.
I'm just trying to survive, y'all. I'm just trying to survive. Jesus.
They get you every time, man. Okay. What?
So
Were you able-
I'll be fair. Fair. I do the same thing to them. Often you don't see it on the game but one of my things that I do when I'm in basically any game is that I'm a very opportunistic punster. So if there's a thing that you say that I can make a pun out of, I'm dropping it a Zoom chat in the middle of the game. And then
Okay.
I love seeing the reactions of my players or people I'm playing with around the table, either the groan or them trying not to break character, stuff like that. It is one of my favorite things, and I do it all the time. And whenever I'm on something new, I tell people, I'm like, I'm warning you right now. If you say something that I can make a pun of, I'm going to drop it in the Zoom chat. Is this okay?
Oh my god.
If it's not okay, I won't do it. But no one's ever said no, and then sure as shit, it's a moment where they're like, why?
It's like, y'all signed up for this. Welcome to it.
Exactly.
And then I
exactly.
think there's one more. I bet you it's this one. Let me see if it's
That
this
possibly
one.
foreseen coming. What a shock. This is my shocked face. Oh no, the director is telling me to move on. Got fired from the Witchlight Carnival. The watch returned. The carnival owners led the group to the Hall of Illusions and the entrance to the Prismere, where the original owner of the carnival had gone missing, along with what was stolen from the party. After reciting Dr. Seuss on one of his bad days, the group entered the portal, and Glix is given some clues as to what the group must do in the wilds beyond. When asked about the information by this broadcast, Carnival attendant Burley replied, quote, "I'm not your fucking fortune cookie, newsman. Buy a ticket or blow. More details as they come in." And now Dimples with the weather.
I'm so
Dimples.
glad we can entertain.
Okay. Just the look on your face.
Yeah, apparently we have a facepalm counter now for all the times that I facepalm.
Yo, and and like Indrani's camera was like, nope, done. It was so funny, and I had the pleasure of bringing Indrani on the show.
I saw, yeah.
As well, and she was just such a delight, I'm actually going to bring us back over here. Here we are, side by side once again. There we go. But oh yeah, I had to play back that clip because I was just crying. I was actually watching that night. I was like, oh my gosh, what?
You're
Wow.
not the only one.
I was like, Zero, dear, this is why they pay you the big bucks to go ahead and do those recaps, because they're bangers every time. And hello, Kitty. Hi.
This is Morden.
Morden. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Oh, I love it.
He has a sixth sense for knowing when I'm on stream talking to people. And so he comes up here for attention and hopes that he'll get treats because someone will request them in our chat.
It's like, oh, okay. Well, here I am. Yes. Please reward me now. Yes. It's fantastic.
Yes, if anyone asks, he is named after Morden from Mass Effect.
Okay.
All of my pets have been named after Mass Effect characters since my wife and I have gotten together.
Wow.
I have another cat named Liara.
Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. And I feel like
yeah, we're nerds.
Oh hell yeah. And that must be a real trip too. Like having a spouse that understands your level of nerd. Oh my gosh. That's gotta be like the best.
It is pretty cool. Like we met actually at Gen Con. At a tabletop convention. We were in a gaming community online together, and that's where we actually met. We hit it off, dated for a while, then yeah, that's how we ended up together. And we'll be going on our 9th anniversary this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my gosh, amazing. That's wonderful. Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah. We're both big nerds. She was a competitive StarCraft player for a while.
Whoa, okay. Wow. That's amazing right there. I love it. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to let's try taking a 5-minute break. Give my watchers and my listeners 5 minutes to go have a bio break, go get some water, stretch, do what you guys need to. And when we come back, we're going to get into some deep discussion on dice because we each have our own favorite dice that we're ready to showcase today. So back in a bit. right, fam. We are back. We are back. We are here with Prince, aka Dimples and Dice. And I definitely know where you get your name from because, oh my gosh, the Dimples. The
My
Dimples.
wife came up with that. I had a different name. It was too long. It was Streaming Pile of Prince. That was my old Twitch streaming name. Because I
Wow.
have
Okay.
streamed for a bit. Like I had originally started streaming back in 2016.
Wow. Okay.
And basically I was doing a podcast and we were doing it live. And we got a whole lot of Twitch harassment. And I just kind of got burned out on it. And so we stopped. And then my wife was like, well, if you're going to be doing tabletop stuff, you should have something to represent that. And she was like, you should use Dimples and Dice. And she was like, you know, it's great. And I was like, you're right.
Yes. On point.
I don't want to do it, but you're right.
She got it on point.
She was
Just
right.
like you have to have like that catchphrase, and you know it's got to be memorable with people, and yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like one of the things that I definitely wanted to touch upon before we move on to our dice show and tell, of as it were, I wanted to mention that the other thing that I admire about your streams is it goes back to what we spoke about before when it comes to being vigilant about inclusivity, being inclusive, about caring about the well-being of your players, right, as you're playing. You know, when it comes to the captioning, for example, like I have captioning that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Chat, you guys let me know if you see any of it today. But like, you know, I'm always looking out for like what tools work the best technically.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, as far as lines and veils, the last thing that the last live stream that I did, that I DM'd, was a one shot for Ladies of D&D, which I'm one of the co-founders of.
Mhm.
And over on their channel we ran a charity one shot for Black Girls Code.
Black Girls Code, yeah.
Yeah,
I was lurking around on that one.
yes, and it was like really like just so cool for my players to be so open with me. And before we even got started, like I just let them know straight up, okay, what do you guys prefer not to, you know, hear about during play? What things do you want, you know, me to touch upon, and make sure that we get in there. I mean, just being able to listen to your players so openly, I find, is one of the things that drew me to your channel in particular. And you have the captioning for those who need it. You have, you know, everybody interacts. You know, I feel like there's that gentle push and pull. And maybe it's because you guys have been playing for a while now, but it's like when somebody is like, hey, okay, wait, whoa, hey, whoa. Not that you guys do that very often, quite honestly.
Sure.
But when it's there, and when somebody would rather move on, then, you know, it happens. Most of the time it seems like Panda's the one that's like kind of wrangling people in a little bit. She's mama bear in the group, I find.
Panda's definitely the cat wrangler of the group for sure.
And I absolutely love it. So now here comes the fun part. Dice show and tell. Do you have any dice with you today that you'd like to show off as some of your favorites? Let's see. Pop out those math rocks.
I got a cool set when I was at PAX Unplugged last. So I'll preface this with, I don't have a ton of dice. I have a few sets. Mostly because I've only really got into doing in-person stuff, or stuff where I'm using dice regularly in like the last yearish. So this set right here, hopefully y'all can see these. There it is. It's zoomed in. You get all the cat hair with it too. These I got from Norse Foundry. And they're like
Nice.
a vampire-ish themed set. The little blue things are skulls on them. I absolutely adore this set of dice. They have not always treated me right, but I love them.
Oh my goodness. Have you attuned to them as yet? Still
I've
attuning
tried.
to
They,
them?
I think I'm still attuning. I might need to like bless them a few times or something. Wash them in holy water. I don't know.
Sage is good. Sage is good. Yep. Sage works good.
Sage is good. Yeah.
What beautiful.
And I love these. I love the color on them. Hopefully it'll zoom.
Look at that blue. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm seeing like an icy blue with gold lettering, numbering.
And
That
then,
is
like,
beautiful.
a cloudy look in the inside of them. Where did I
Yeah.
get these from? I don't remember where I got them from. I just remember I was at PAX Unplugged in 2019, and I saw them, and it was last day there, and I was like, I need a set of dice. I don't have any dice outside of the ones that came with like the D&D starter set, and I was like, I need a set of dice of my own. My wife has dice. Everyone has dice. I don't have dice. I'm gonna buy some.
Do you find that you have a tendency to match up a certain set of dice with a character that you play?
Absolutely.
Do you do that at all? Okay.
100%. I have bought sets for characters. Like some of the sets that I have were because I was like, you know what? I need something that fits this character's vibe.
Agree. I've done the exact same thing. And so do you have any more?
I do. Kelly the Opera Geek actually gifted me a set of her dice, which I really. Oh, it's not gonna show up because green screen. Dang it!
Oh, it's green. Oh my
I was just thinking about
goodness.
this. I was like, as soon as I went to put it up, I was like, you know what? Nope, can't do that.
And I love your
Uh,
green screen, by the way. Is that Fifth Avenue in New York? Or where is
This
that?
is Broad Street in Philadelphia. This is
Oh man.
right in front of City Hall.
Okay, yep. I would have
Right there
seen
behind
City
me.
Hall. There you go.
And this
Nice.
is where I live now. I've been here for the last almost 10 years now. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, but
Wow.
I've been living in Philly since I got married, basically. Oh yeah, and then
Very
I love my
cool.
Black Lives Matter dice.
Yes. Oh yes. Okay, the Black Lives Matter dice actually came to my attention. I've been listening to back episodes of Three Black Halflings. I don't know if you know
Yes.
that
Mhm.
podcast.
I
From
want to be on their podcast.
Yeah.
If you guys are listening, I want to be on your podcast.
Yes, get Dimples and Dice on your podcast ASAP. Yes, please. I love them. I've been listening since their first episodes, and I think it's Jasper is the one that has a set of those
Yes.
that
Mhm.
on one of their live plays. Oh man, it was like rolling like 19s and 20s.
So here's the thing. I tell you, those dice have been my most successful dice. Since I don't run a lot of physical dice, I actually write down when I get nat 20s on some of my dice. So I can start measuring which ones have been the nicest to me. And those two dice have treated me better than any other dice I have.
Look at that.
I've seen the fist and the BLM more than anything else.
I'm like, they have been blessed by the ancestors of our people.
Right? Like,
But wow, I mean, when I tell you, like, just throughout the entire broadcast, it was like 19, 20, natural 20. Like, what? Like, okay, so it's official, y'all. And they still sell them too. Like, I
yes,
already
you can still
like,
get them.
that's gonna be my next set of dice to get because it's amazing and I love them. They're just bold, black and beautiful, and I love it. I
also have the original set of Motherlands dice. I don't know where they are, but I have
Ooh,
them.
is it the original like sky blue with
Yep.
the gold numbering. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, yes. Oh, they are awesome and beautiful. I mean, I'm a big design nerd as it is, and when I see branding carried through like that, I was like, oh, they chose the colors of their branding on their dice.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's that's the kind of thing. I was like, uh, I I love dice, and I love when people I know get to work on them, or like if they even if they don't make them directly, because my wife does make dice, but like even if you
Oh,
don't make your dice directly, if you get to work with someone and you get to make your own dice, that's dope. I think that's super cool. Like
for
for what I
sure. Like
like,
that, and
it
that's
just is
like a labor of
awesome.
patience. That's a labor
Mm-hmm.
of patience too. Like,
Because like
if
Zero
your wife,
got dice from, I think, is it Die Hard Dice? Somebody got he did dice with.
well,
Um, the
I've got some
Artificer
diehard
dice.
dice to show off today myself.
Yes, I was gonna say, what you got? What you got?
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me your wife makes does she sell them online anywhere?
Nah,
Maybe we
she
no?
just likes to
Okay.
just make them as like a hobby, and she's trying to make more over the summer because we really have to do it outside because there's no real
Right.
place with great ventilation in our house. Uh, so I suspect she's gonna have more that we'll see in the future.
No, I got you. I'm ready to represent. Like anytime that
I
any of my
appreciate
friends,
that.
I'm a staunch like just promoter of all my creative friends that are like, well, yeah, I kind of do this
The
cool
same
thing,
way.
but I don't know. I'm like, no, you need to promote. I will put your link out. Give me your website. I will mention you wherever I go. I got dice from you last week. Let me, publicize them somewhere. Like, I'm always like just such a promoter for my friends. I'm like, in the circles that I swim, I
I
tend to
think
be
we
the
should hype
cheerleader.
each
So
other up. Like I
that's it.
think
Why
that's one of
not?
the things. Like one of the cool things I've learned, and since I've started playing with TTR, like people do TTRPGs, is to just hype up other people who are doing the same stuff. Like I it's not because I want something or anything like that. It's just because I want to see other people succeed. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that it helps as well among our people as Black people. It helps to do away with that old-fashioned thinking, like, oh, well, that's we Black, we don't play TTRPGs, or we don't, you know what I
Oh
mean? Like,
yeah,
there's that stigma that
that happened. This is part of the reason why I didn't start playing until you know late 20, like it was like 2017, 2016, 2017 when I first started playing games, because I had wanted to play other stuff, but it was like get that nerd stuff out of here, like to my
right,
friends. And I
yeah,
was a mega nerd as a kid, so like it was a whole thing. Uh, and one
oh
of the
my
most
god.
satisfying moments that I ever had as a kid, and will stand out for me to this day, was when I started playing football for my high school football team. And I was a homeschool kid, to toss on to this. So I was playing, not actually going to the school, but because I lived in the district. And I found out that several of my offensive linemen on that team played Diablo too, and it was just
What?
like the biggest nerd bonding moment ever, because like nobody understands and you understand.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Because I mean, I think you and I are similar in age, but I think we both came from that era where there was a clear delineation between nerds, jocks, emo kids, preppies. Like there's these little categories which they still exist, unfortunately, but now we're in, I guess, revenge of the nerd times, because now it's kind of chic to be nerdy. You know what I
Right,
mean?
because
Like
I was
it's
in
like
like basically all of those. I was like all of those things on one person. I was doing emo shit, I was playing football, I read comic books, I had like moments where I cried sitting on my roof, like like
anybody that's ever like played in Vampire the Masquerade, much less DM'd Vampire the Masquerade, you could have been a emo kid even just for 5
absolutely.
minutes.
It was a very
Like,
short phase, but it was a phase.
yes, absolutely. And that always has irked me the most over time, when people are like, well, why? And it's like, well, put it this way. We are all human beings. We all come with our own imagination, our own form of creativity. I don't care if it's slam poetry or is writing a campaign, we all
man.
come with the capacity to express ourselves creatively.
I
And
used to
that's
write
all
super
that
emo poetry too.
I used to I was LARPing. I clearly remember, and this is why 9/11 hit me even harder. I had a family member, an aunt that my family actually reconnected with, who was an employee of Aon, and Aon was one of the companies that lost. I think they were the company that lost like the most employees
Yeah, in the building.
in that tragedy. And I had realized that back in high school, I was running up and down Tower 1 and Tower 2, LARPing in Vampire the
God.
Masquerade ages ago. And when that was just like a part of my history crumbled with those buildings. And it was just such a humbling moment. It was like one of many things that reawakened the nerd in me. Like, you know what? Life has hammered the nerd out of me like long enough. Like
Like, for
it
sure.
it really drove home the fact that as a creative outlet, there's more people in it than you realize. I went to a job interview some years back, and you get asked the age-old question, oh well, what should I know about you that I don't see on your resume? That old chestnut, right? And when I came out and I said, oh well, I play Dungeons and Dragons, I'll never forget the interviewers paused for a full second and was like, wow, you're like the third person that's interviewed for this position that has told me that. And I'm like, really? Yeah, great. Good.
You know what's
Now you
wild?
realize how many nerds of us there are out there for real.
I had that same sort of moment because for a while I was interviewing and they were like, well, what kind of leadership experience do you have? And I was like, I've led 40-man raid teams in World of Warcraft for the last 3 years. And they're like, how does that translate? And I was like this I ran specific parts. I organized when they'd be here. I organized the things that they need to have on time. Like I was project managing. I was managing multiple people, different teams. And they're like, I've never had anybody put stuff like that for me, but that all seems like applicable experience. And I was like,
That's
yeah,
right.
because it is.
That's right. Don't you know? You want to know it because like it's so there's so many logistics that go into it. I deigned to become a DM for tabletop games, but if you tried to ask me to coordinate for raids for an MMORPG, oh hell no, no, I couldn't.
I did it for years, and it was
beyond
hard.
my
But it was very satisfying when the team all comes together and accomplishes the thing. That was why I did it. And when I got too old and too busy to be able to raid regularly, it lost its appeal because the fun in it for me was organizing teams to accomplish a goal. And when I couldn't do that, there was no more appeal for me.
Wow, oh my gosh. Unbelievable. But here, I'm going to bring out my favorite. Okay, so first up, and you're going to see a recurring theme here with the way I love purple. I mean, can you tell that I love purple? I hope you can.
I was thinking that too. I was like, I need purple, guys.
This one is my first one. This is from Critical Role.
Yeah.
And I love it because of its size. This is one of my whammers, I call it, because it's just bigger than your normal size die. Like if your normal size is this size, then here we go. There's the whammer.
Bigger ones from one of the Dungeons and Dragons little box sets they have.
Yep. And I don't know if it comes up on camera like it should, but it's got these sparkles in it.
Yes.
So purple and sparkles. Yeah. Your girl is all over that. And like I like to tell people, I mean, I'm faking the funk right now because I'm wearing contact lenses, but my eyes are getting older, not younger. So I'm. if you could please just design me dice that is big enough or clear enough for me to read the numbers that I'm rolling, thank you very much. Um, and then my next one I have, this
Ooh, I
is
like that.
from Kraken Dice, and I love this one. It's looks like rose quartz to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
I
a
love that
big
color.
of yeah, I don't even wear it's more, it has like that slight twinge towards lavender.
Mhm.
I don't do pink too much, but it has
I
just
do. I love pinks
I
and
just
lavenders and
but
pastels.
and I love it because rose quartz I've been in love with for like ever, and it's got the gold numbering on it that complements it
No,
beautifully.
those are beautiful dice.
So yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I have also, let's see. Ooh, okay. I have this one. Is this from Kraken? Let's see. Hold on. Yes, this is another Kraken one. And this one, it's a little darker purple. It may be a little bit harder to see the sparkle in this one. However, I love it because it's kind of got the draconian numbers on it, almost like the old
Yeah,
style
yeah,
numbers. And this one in particular, I want to try and use this probably for my because it always rolls well for me. I want to try and use it as part of my DM dice. I'm already putting together like a little pool of
The
like the
DM set.
dice. Yes, like this will solely
For
be
sure.
used to antagonize my pick. Yeah. And then just today, I received 3 metal D20s from Die Hard Dice
Ooh.
that came just in time for today. First up is this beauty right here. It's black outlined with copper. Hold on, let's see if I can
Oh,
get this
I've seen those before. Oh, I
okay.
love them so much.
This right here, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna take it for a spin, but I guarantee you, I bet you this is gonna become one of my DM dice. It has just this cool finish to it, like City of Brass finish, like a Vernon finish to it. I love it. And just the black with the copper is just amazing.
Yes. Whenever you
And
mix
then
like black and copper, black and gold, for me, it's just like chef's kiss.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And well, to counterbalance that, I've got another one. This is white with gold. And so this will
Ooh.
definitely be like an angelic die for me. This is going to
Mhm.
be used for my next cleric. That I straight up know that already. Like I'm like,
You've already decided this is for this
I've
character
already
when I play
decided.
it.
I mean, it's
I love that.
yeah. I mean, it's just so angelic. I can't even. I can't envision using it for anything else. But, this is I've got like a small subset of my dice that are either clear with sparkles, or at least have white or gold to them, and this is getting classified right along with them. See, I'm even like organized about my dice, but if you ask me about being organized about the rest of my workload or rest of my house, please. Anyway, so
I do have
then
one more that I want to show, and I gotta think about it.
ooh, let me see.
So, the other thing that I really got that I enjoy during PAX was I got clan dice for Vampire, and this is my Banu Hakim dice, and I play a Banu Hakim in one of my games, but I have a bunch of clan dice that I got, and that was like my big splurge because the Die Hard dice for these are like $15 a piece. But I was like, I'm going to splurge and buy me a set of like all of the 13 clans and have those for my dice for rolling for Vampire. And I don't regret it. They're aluminum. They have a nice weight to them. They make a nice click-clack sound. I love it.
I love that. I mean, hey y'all, here's an audible for you. If you have to create a separate budget for buying dice, you might be a dice goblin. Yeah. So absolutely.
I've already planned a budget for when this next PAX Unplugged comes to Philly, because it's in my hometown, or not my hometown, but where I live. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna need probably about this much for dice. And my wife is like, I do too. So I was like, oh, so we're in agreement. We don't have to, like, we know we're going to spend a certain amount of money on dice. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, great. There's no argument, no fuss. We just, boom, done. We're gonna spend money on dice.
The hive mind at work. I love it. I absolutely love it. And one last one that I have to show off.
Please.
This here is also from Die Hard Dice.
Oh, the blue
And
one.
You look at that. I mean, it shimmers. It shimmers so much. I feel like this is a mermaid die right here. Either a mermaid die or a dragonborn die. And it's got just the most fantastic scales on it. Blue
I have a gem
and
dragonborn already made in my D&D Beyond character vault that
Look at
die
that.
would be perfect for. Like,
Look
I'm
at
thinking about
that.
it right now.
Check it out. Die Hard Dice. I'm telling you. I tend to highlight not just by the way, just for your edification, I have a tendency to highlight private dice makers versus or indie dice makers versus big companies as well. I mean, as long as you've got the shiny math rocks that catch my eye, hey, I'll promote, I'll lift you up. Hey,
Yeah.
why not?
I would
Not
say
yet.
that like 60% of the things I look at on Etsy, maybe more than that, it's probably more than that, are dice makers. I'm constantly browsing dice on Etsy. I'm like, if this goes on sale, I swear to God.
Right. Those little alerts are everything. Like the dice set that you earmarked months ago is now on sale. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Exactly
So,
like that.
But yeah, I've got a Dragonborn character for an upcoming private at-home campaign that is definitely going to be rolling this one. So
Heck yeah.
so that's my favorites this week.
what
I'm
happens
not
next
yet
week.
not yet sponsored by Die Hard Dice, but knock on wood. Hey, Die Hard Dice, if you'd like to sponsor the channel, hit me up. Let me know.
Where that affiliate link at?
Okay. So, but yeah. So I mean, I'm looking at the time, and sadly, I think our time is done for today. But it has been an absolute pleasure having you today. I really appreciate you, friend. And
Thank you for having me. I was glad that I could make it. The time worked out and everything.
oh my goodness. And please, by all means, plug yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you online.
So, hello again. I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice. You can find me at Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok even, as Dimples and Dice. You can also see me over on several different channels, but every Saturday I'm part of the Vampire Takeover over on Vancouver by Night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and then over on my sister station where I'm the co-founder at Roland D's 20s as a storyteller for Philly by Night. And that is a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. And of course, on Sunday mornings, you can find me for Wayward Revelry, D&D 5e campaign, which is Wild Beyond the Witchlight, with my own twist to it, because I've added some things so that if you've read the book, some of it will be spoiled, or and others you'll be like, what did he do? And that's the reaction I'm looking for. Yeah, so I'm on a bunch of stuff. Make sure you follow me on Twitter to see all the stuff I'm up to. I retweet a bunch of things that I'm in. I'm actually in a game tonight, raising money for autistic POC over on Blood Threat Cheers channel at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and I am playing a very, very cursed character.
Oh yes. and as we outro, welcome to the tradition that we have on this channel. Are you ready? Here we go. When we sign off on this channel, we always say love, right? Love,
Love, peace,
and soul.
and soul, baby.
This is how we roll. That's right.
Love, peace, and
Yes.
soul. This is how we roll.
Yes.
I love it.
We did the thing. We did the thing. Love it.
Again, you're
So,
wonderful. Thank you for having me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. And to all of my watchers and listeners, thank you so much for being with us today. And we will see you next time. Bye. Proudly sponsored by Kraken Dice and 88 Riddles.